Hi, it's me again. Welcome back for a second episode of Devs. Today we're gonna visit a company called Fingersoft. Fingersoft is a studio based in Oulu, a city in northern Finland. I'm just really hoping we're not gonna cross paths with any polar bears. I'm just kidding, there's no wild polar bears in Finland.
Welcome to Fingersoft.
Yeah! Woo! Okay. So, Ville, Mr. COO, how's your morning been?
Quite busy. Had to come here early to kind of set up things because we have a event here today as well, and this thing and multiple other things going on at the same time. So,
What does COO mean, and what is that in practicality?
well, it's Chief Operating Officer, and in practice, basically, our CEO actually likes to say that he can keep his legs on the table and I'll do everything else. So.
Oh, okay, one of those.
Yeah.
So you actually make it happen.
Yeah, well, I try to run like day-to-day operations, so I coordinate with our team leads, so game development team, services team, QA, support, whatever, to make sure that everything goes according to plan, at least somewhat.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What's your background? How did you end up in game development?
Yeah, I've actually been developing games for 10 years now. I started in Tuonela back in, what was it, like 07-ish, 06-ish there. I was studying Oulu University and then noticed an email there, saying like, we're looking for game programmers, and I'm like, yeah, I've always wanted to make games. So I applied and went to beer with Jussi Autio, and then he didn't offer me any pay, but he offered me a job. So
okay.
That's how I got started.
What was your game development background at that point?
Well, basically, I'd done games, by myself, and then with my friends since I was a kid. So I had that, and then of course at the university I was studying programming. So kind of I think that was the way in for me. So yeah.
How about this company? How did you end up working for Fingersoft?
That's actually kind of a jump. But I was working for Ludocraft a few years before I came here, and then they had a little bit difficulties. So I decided to kind of find some other job which could pay a salary because I already had a lot of debts.
Okay.
Being an adult. So I went to work for a non-gaming company for a little while there, but I was getting like desperate. I have to get back into games, and I actually saw a news piece saying like Fingersoft 100 million downloads. I was like, whoa, those guys are gonna need me.
Okay.
So I actually found out like somebody who knew Teemu, and Teemu was then like a project lead or a team lead in here, and directly contacted him that I want to work for you guys, you will need me, and then ended up kind of getting interview, and then actually they hired me. So.
And right now the brand focus is on obviously the game at hand.
Yeah, of course. Like our strategy is now that because Hillclimb Racing has become a kind of IP, it's no longer just one game, it's now 2 games. So we're gonna continue developing probably more titles for that, and then we also of course are developing other games, trying to make new IPs as well. So we'll see.
Okay. But all of your games are mobile based, finger based?
Yeah, that's the kind of core thing, our like main area of expertise. But of course we actually do have Hillclimb Racing 1 is on Windows Universal, so you can play that on desktop and whatever.
Oh, okay. So did I get it right also that you work as a publisher? Fingersoft is a publisher for other games as well? Can you mention how that differs from when you make the games yourself, and what kind of titles you worked on? Yeah,
sure. We've published over 10 third-party titles. So typically, I think what kind of companies we've been working with are actually Finnish small studios who maybe don't have the expertise yet to how to go to market and do the basic things. And the way that works is we typically look for games which are quite far along. And then we've done some projects where we have actually our producer being involved or something like that. Typically, as far along as possible so that we can get to like beta stage, have real users, get real numbers, how the game works, and then we'll make the decision if we want to publish, and if we publish, then then the whole process begins. So.
And those titles that you decide to release or to publish, how do they come to you? How do you do you have a stack all the time that you look through? Or?
Well, we do have a few different ways. We have a website. You can actually just go and upload your APK, and there's a disclaimer like we don't get any rights or anything. We just check it out and get back to you. That's one way. And other way, of course, we have guys always going on different events and looking for games actively. So that's another thing. So it kind of depends. And of course, we now after a few years of doing that, we have a lot of contacts. So we have known studios who maybe we published already, or maybe we know them from before. So of course we're looking, talking to those guys to see if they have something cool coming up. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So why Oulu?
Well, I think mostly because it's our founder Tony actually is from Oulu, so he based the company here, and I think all of our employees want to stay in Oulu and don't, it's Helsinki is too far away. We like to be here centrally, where everything is.
The capital of Northern Scandinavia. Yeah. I saw the video. So how long do you think the racing era will last? Will you go into something else, or is that something that's going to stay with you for?
I don't know. I think it will stay because it's such a core thing, like physics-based racing and all kinds of gadgets where you drive are maybe the kind of backbone of the company. So they're really important. But we of course always, game developers tend to get bored, so they want to do other kind of things. So there's always all kinds of prototypes coming about. So
any advice or any things to anybody who's watching who would like to go into the game development business or field? What could be a good thing to?
Yeah, that's a large question. I actually have a keynote today where I have a whole 30-minute lesson about this. But basically, I think starting up, build a portfolio is number one these days. Just use your own time if you don't have anybody to pay for you, and kind of. Because being able to show what you can do is the main thing that we look for, when we're looking for employees. So yeah, I think that would be the most important thing.
Do you have any questions?
Can't figure out anything right now.
Okay, so I'm really excited to see where the magic happens, and I have a reason to believe it's not only this room, right?
No,
so
it's upstairs
is
the main thing. So
cool.
All right.
Great talking to you. Let's go and check it out.
Go.
Ah, hello.
Hello.
How are you and who are you?
Fine, thanks. I'm Julianna, a graphic designer here at Fingersoft.
Okay, I see you're doing some graphics. Tell me, so what's this you're working on, or is it a secret? Can you tell me?
Well, this is not exactly a secret. We're working on new vehicles at time to time, and this one is a new skin for the Formula car.
So your job description is doing graphics mostly, element graphics?
All graphics related stuff. I'm doing also sometimes advertisement and user interface design and game assets. Okay. Designing and making them.
What was the first game asset you ever created?
The first one, I think it was for the other game. We had this Fail Hard game, and it was the character for the Fail Hard game.
Where did you get that image or that character, or did it just come to you like bloop?
I believe that one just came to me, that it should look like this, because the idea was to have goofy kind of character, so there he was.
Okay. I hear that there's a few goofy characters here at this company as well, and
yeah.
Sometimes it gets a little bit wild. Can you tell me something about how you work here in this company?
Well, it's very fun to work here because we have people who are really interested in making games and making them as fun as possible, and they're interested in what they do. Well, I don't know about the wild part, but I do really miss the jacuzzi we had in the previous office.
I heard some rumors about that. Yeah.
Yes.
And I brought my swimsuit and everything.
Yeah, maybe we can go there this evening.
Cool.
And I hope we have one here too, maybe someday, here at the new office.
Okay. What do you think about this new office? You haven't been here for a long time, right?
Yeah, only a couple of weeks maybe. We liked the previous office because it was really cozy.
And the jacuzzi.
Yeah, and the jacuzzi. But it's nice that we have space here now, and we will be able to have more people to work with us now.
Okay, and I see most of you have an open office. How does that work for you or for people in general?
Well, previously we had all open office mostly. Now we have a couple of rooms where people are just two at one room, but this works fine for me because we're working at a team. We need to discuss with each other a lot.
How often do you have? Because I saw you had some team meetings here earlier. How often does that happen?
Every morning. We have every morning meeting what we have done previous day and what will we do this day, and we check up. Are we doing fine? Okay.
Can you say 3 things you specifically like about this company?
Well, I think I said few already, but we have this.
3 more.
3 more. Yeah. Well, I like the feeling that we don't have too tight rules here. It's like we are free to do things on our own way and at our own time.
You have refreshments and drink. I like that personally.
Of course. Of course, it's nice that we have all the refreshments and all the fun stuff here too. But maybe, to be honest, because this is kinda almost like my first job, maybe I'm used to too good because I don't even notice them anymore. But yeah, of course.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the newest game.
Hill Climb Racing 2. Yeah. Well, what did you ask?
Well, I asked you to tell me something about it, but let's see. Let's start from the development, because obviously it's a sequel. There was a first part.
Yeah.
So at what point did you come into the project? Was it just about to start, or had it already started when you
It had already started, but we started almost from the beginning, and there were some sketches when I came to this project, but we get to try different styles before we got to this graphic style.
Okay. How did that process? How did it go?
We actually went and asked students. We went to schools and asked students what do they prefer. We showed them some pictures about our sketches. We were curious to know because the Hill Climb Racing 1 had quite unique look, and we wanted the game to look enough like the first part, but not too much, because we wanted to give something more for the players too. Yeah. So we needed to make sure that the fans will like the new look also.
But is it common in the gaming industry to do like focus group style, where you go out and ask people which one do they prefer? Or was it because you had this old style in the prequel? Was that the reason you went out to?
I think it is quite common because we're doing it for the fans. So we need to know what does our group like. Yeah. And we can't know it because I'm not a 15-year-old boy. Yeah. So I can't know what they like.
So tell me about the launch. How did it go? Did it act as expected, or?
Well, there is always some difficulties, but I think that is normal when you're developing games. But at the end, it went quite well.
So when you're designing a new character or a new world, so how does that lead us in on the project? How does it go?
Well, usually, if it's a gameplay thing like a vehicle, the idea comes from other developers, and after I've got the idea, I surf on the internet, see some fun pictures, and combine fun ideas, make some sketches, and as a team then we try to see what will work in our game and what won't. Then I do the final sketches, final drawings, and we put it in the game.
Okay. But all of the ideas come from other people, or do you sometimes wake up in the middle of the night saying, oh, we need to have this kind of tree, or?
Well, usually they come from other people, the ideas. I only implement them.
You make them.
I only make them.
Well, that's important, because otherwise,
yeah.
just have
Here
stuff.
are some good ideas. People have good ideas, so we don't need more.
Absolutely. So when you use Photoshop most, what is your favorite
Photoshop? Yeah.
Do you start just putting stuff together straight away, or do you do like a wireframe model, or what's your how do you build the assets?
I first do the sketch like I normally would draw, but then I have some guidelines that I need to chop it in pieces. Like the vehicle has to have tires differently. And
okay. Yeah.
And the chassis, and then I give them as a separate files.
It says here, do you listen to fans? But you already kind of explained that. The first time I read this was, do you listen to music when you make graphical designs? I don't see you have any.
Yes, I do. I do listen to music
headphones?
Sometimes, but I need to hear what the other people are talking about the game design. So when I'm doing stuff, I also want to know what other people are doing. So I don't always listen to music.
Do you think you could make me into a character of this game?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, just don't tell anybody. Let's just put me in the game, and then people can. So when you create characters, do you take inspiration? Where do you take inspiration from? And do you have some of your co-workers in the game? And
yes, maybe. I haven't told anyone, but maybe I have used some of my co-workers.
Some inspiration here. And
yeah.
That's my nose.
Yeah, some clothes and stuff, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll let you get back to work. I'm gonna go disturb somebody else.
Okay.
I don't know who
Thank you.
Hello. Hi, Marko.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Great.
Great.
Yeah.
Is life always great in Oulu?
Almost. Yeah.
I've gotten this feeling that there's a lot of things happening. It's a very alive city.
Yeah, it is, especially in the game industry. It's been busy lately. Yeah.
Why do you think that there's like a combination or collaboration between people like ending up in Oulu?
I don't know. Maybe it's dark, so we stay indoors. We have computers. We play games, so that must be it.
How did you end up starting to do games or developing games?
Well, I started by playing them, of course, at first, and then I started doing like general programming as a hobby and as a job. So then I figured, hey, I want to do games. They are more fun than just doing some business stuff. So that's how I started, and then I got into this company.
So from playing games, how did you end up working with games? How was the transition for that, and at what time did you start studying programming languages and stuff like that?
Well, I started programming in school, like in my own time.
Okay.
And that's where it started. I started making these simple worm games at the time. Very simple games at first, but...
Was it before Nokia's version, or it was after?
I think about the same time, maybe. Okay. I don't remember. But yeah, so at that time it was cool just to have something drawn on the screen. But then I studied computer engineering, and then I worked a while in mobile software development, and then I transitioned here.
So what was the first programming language that you learned, and what language are you using now?
First was it was Visual Basic. I think the second was C, C++, and that's what I'm doing here today, mostly C++.
If somebody would want to work here at a place like this in game development, This is quite a strange question as a developer. What should they know? What do you think are the most valuable features or aspects of a game developer?
I think the most important thing is to have passion for making games, because it's a really it's a tough business and industry. The competition is super hard nowadays. There's so many great games coming out all the time, so you really have to give everything you got, and even still you probably won't make it. But so it helps if you really enjoy what you do.
Do you feel like you want to work, or your people are demanding you to do your job?
No, I think for me Monday morning is the best day of the week, because it's the nice work week ahead of me, and at least in my position I get to decide a lot what I'm going to do. I get to design a lot, and then I get to start coding it, and we just discuss a lot with the design team that what should we focus on next. But yeah, we are very independent as a team and as individuals as well.
Okay. So how many different people or different teams are involved in your newest title, Hillclimb Racing 2?
Well, we are a team of 7 at the moment, and then part of that team is the main design team, which makes the design decisions that what to do next. Any
new developments? Where is the game going? Played frequently now for a few days. Tried it out. It seems like a good game. It has a lot of potential to grow. Any specific direction you're taking the game?
Well, multiple directions. But yeah, I think in the next update, for example, we are focusing on improving the adventure mode, which has been not receiving a lot of love lately. But the next update is going to improve that. And of course, we try to bring new tracks and new vehicles in every update. And then we have some bigger plans, which are still unannounced.
I heard some rumors about an online version. Is that one of those?
Well, you have to wait and see.
How was developing the sequel different from the first game?
Well, it's much bigger game, of course. It's multiplayer, different game modes. So that, especially the multiplayer thing, we need servers and everything. It's an online game. The first one was single player only offline game. So that's the biggest difference. Like when I was making the first game, I was basically just one guy making the game for over a year. So I got to make all the design decisions. I got to implement myself. And in this game we have the team of 7. So it's lots of design discussions, what to do. We have to consider the backend, server tech and everything. So that's maybe the biggest one. Is this the sheer scope of the game.
When you do have the game at least somewhat finished, how do you test it out? Obviously you test it here in your own crew, but how do you feather out the testing before it's actually completed?
Yeah, we have some internal testing, of course, and then we have some external partnerships with other companies who do technical testing and validation.
Okay.
And then we, when we are going for the release, we publish the game to small percentage of the players first to make sure there are no critical bugs or anything.
Okay.
And then when it's okay, we go to the full release. Yeah.
Because I heard some rumors about a Blooms test.
Oh yeah, that's I think that's more commonly known as the toilet test.
The toilet test.
Toilet test, yeah. It's really a favorite of our management. It basically means that you have to be able to have meaningful game experience in the toilet.
But yeah, basically it has to grab you from the first first moment, right?
Yeah.
And I do think your game does that. It has that immediate I just want to play it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it needs to load quickly.
Yeah.
And you can just get right in. You get right into the race if you want, very fast.
Yeah. So when you do updates or feedback and develop stuff like that, how much do you involve the fans Because obviously your game has quite a big, and it's quite a different game, so it has a specific fan base already, or has had for a long time. How do you incorporate them into the development?
Yeah, we listen to the player feedback very closely. I mean, I try to read some player feedback every day, and we look at the trends, especially after new updates and new features. We really very closely listen to player feedback, and that is one of the most important things. What decides what comes to the next update is the player feedback actually. So yeah, it is the number one thing for us, I'd say.
What would you be doing if you wouldn't be doing games?
I guess I'll be programming some other thing. Yeah, coding.
The end of the world.
Yeah, something.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any last final personal things you want to say, or shout out to the community, or?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Thanks for your answers.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So there you go. That's all from Oulu and Fingersoft for this time. Next time, we're gonna take this bad boy out for a ride and also talk more with Fingersoft how it is to actually create the games. If you want to subscribe to our channel, click here. If you want to watch another video, click here. This is Christopher, you've been watching Devs. Later.